Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Good morning, good evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Hi Michael, hi Paul, hi Matt, great to see you here. It is indeed just starting, Paul. Well, 2 hours in actually, to be totally correct about it. But yeah, it is just starting. Hi Michael. And yeah, Matt, I know you're there as well. Hi, Matt. Yeah, no comments appear in Ecamm that happened before I actually clicked live. So anyone who was there before I actually started, I don't get your comments in here, but I can still see them on my phone. Yeah, I have been up for 2 hours, but I've been having these late night. Well, they're not late night really, are they? It's every Friday I have a Zoom call that's basically from 1:30 my bedtime until 1.5 hours past my bedtime. So 8:30 until 9:30. Hi, Michael. Nice to another Michael. We've got another Michael on the on the call. So yeah, I've been having these things. So going to bed at a little bit later than my normal time, having a Zoom call that finishes at 9:30 in the evening. I always find I normally like a bit of time to sort of wind down as well after sort of anything sort of work related. So it does mean that yeah, these Fridays I feel like I'm going to bed later than I should be. It's probably still early for most people, you know, finishing a call at 9:30 and going to bed at 10. But there you go. It is indeed the weekend. To be honest with you, though, I've got to say, I don't really notice the difference between weekends and days. I suppose it's helpful if you love what you're doing, and then I just feel it all blends into one. So I guess I'm pretty lucky in that way. But hi Greg. So I'll just get straight on into my little update, and we'll take it from there. So my usual update. 365 days, we're on day 120. I've done 121 videos. This is my 122nd, so I'm getting a little bit ahead again, which is what I want, because with the when I did the first 100 videos, it was quite nice to have that bit of a buffer. So I'm trying to build that up. If I do like 8 videos a week for the next few weeks, then I'll be a bit ahead. Hey Steve, great to see you here as well. So yeah, 121 videos, 382 subscribers. So that's, I think last week I was on 352, was I 353? So yeah, basically it's another 30, isn't it? So that's probably, actually thinking about it, that's the greatest sort of week on week increase that I've seen. But that's to be expected, I suppose, isn't it? You know, you're expecting it to sort of go up in a bit of a curve shape. Total watch hours 1.9 thousand, 1900 and 19,000. The interesting thing about these figures for the hours and the views is that I've noticed is every week the number of views seems exactly 10 times more than the hours. And you might think that sounds, you know, normal because they're going to be sort of linked together, but actually there's nothing to say that those two would be so closely linked, and it's literally every week is the same. And what it means is that basically the average watch time of my videos is basically 6 minutes, because if the number of hours is basically 1/10 of the number of views, then it's 1/10 of an hour per view, so it's 6 minutes. So that's just an interesting little thing. I like things like that, little mathematical anomalies, or not anomalies, but coincidences is the word. But what I've done as well is I've got a little somewhere here, where is it, these graphs. So this is basically the graphs that show my channel since it started. So it started on the 15th of May, and then you can see these are daily views, and then obviously just the overall arc of it. So you can see how the number of daily views is increasing, and which makes sense because you obviously got more content, so people are finding it through watching, you know, new people are finding all of the old content as well. So yeah, but just look at those numbers. It's 19,273 and 1,925. So, you know, pretty much the first 3 digits are exactly the same. It's just quite a coincidence, that is. And yeah, I've probably gone on about it enough, but I just found that quite interesting. Hey Chris, good to see you here as well. I hope you've enjoyed the Keyboard Maestro videos this week. I'll talk about those in a minute as well. So yeah, that's where we are really. That's the update on the actual sort of channel thing. Then obviously the other thing that I've been doing this week is the Great Cycle Challenge, and I'm going to go on about this a little bit because so it's day 10 of 30. And originally last week I set myself the goal of 200 miles, but I've actually I kind of felt after I started doing it, because I hadn't ridden for 3 years, I thought, well, maybe I'll be a bit rusty. But it turns out riding a bike is a lot like riding a bike. You never really forget. I upped that to 400 miles, and I think that's probably a good target for the month, because as you can see, I'm on day 10 and I've done basically just less than a third of it. So a third of the way in and just less than a third. So it is going to be a bit of a challenge sort of squeezing that in, I think. And by the way, the actual 365 day videos in a year, I'm kind of thinking I need to up the number of videos in a year, to be honest, because I'm feeling like that doesn't feel too much like a challenge. Not like the first 100 videos really felt like a challenge, because I had obviously never done it. Whereas now I seem like I've just got into such a routine of it that it's just become sort of part of my daily routine, or at least weekly routine, because I don't make one every day. In fact, that might be a better challenge, actually, is to actually release a video every day. So I'm not necessarily doing that. Some days I release 2, some days none. And so that might be a bit of a better way of doing it. But anyway, I'll get back to the cycling. Because although you can see that I'm up to about a third of the way towards my goal, a third of the way in, we're still lacking a little bit on the donations. So yeah, if anybody has found any value in anything that I've done in my previous 120 videos, I'm not really good at sort of self-promotion in terms of, you know, my buy me a coffee or things like that. Although I do have my little link up on my live streams, but I don't really push it much in my videos. But I will push this one, because if anybody has found any value at all in what I've been doing, then a great way to show your appreciation for all of the content would be to actually go and support this cause. Because I don't think you need to say much about it, do you? It's for kids' cancer. And I can't think, having 3 young kids myself, I just can't think of anything worse as a parent than to have something like this happen to your children. And it seems like, there's loads of terrible things in the world, and cancer is a terrible thing for anybody, but there's just something that seems so cruel and unfair about it happening to young, innocent children who have got their lives ahead of them. And it's just such a great cause. So if you've found anything useful in anything I've ever said, even whether it's $1's worth of value, then just head over to takeonetech.io/ride, and you can make a donation there, because that would really make my day. That would. So let me just take this off. So this will take you through, although it's a Take One Tech link, it's just redirecting you to the Great Cycle Challenge website. And here you can see that this is where you can track you can see my rides, actually. So those are all the rides that I've been doing. I did another 20 miles yesterday. By the way, I'm really pleased to be doing this again, because getting back on my bike, because as I say, I hadn't done it for 3 years, and I'm already noticing that I'm getting back into the routine of it, and it's less fatiguing now. So this 20-mile ride that I did yesterday was a lot less tiring than the first 20-mile ride I did on day 1. So it's getting easier. And it's not just me as well. I have always got to thank Greg for even getting me into this, because not just for the cause, but it's going to help me personally as well with my fitness, which had been lacking a little bit. So I am part of the team, and let's have a little look at how the team's doing, because the team's doing better than me with fundraising overall, I have to say. So we've got obviously Matt and Greg in the chat. They're both doing it as well. And so far, with our overall team goal, we are at $985 of 1,000. And I've got to say, most of that has been down to Randy and India, who have both been doing great. And then there we go. We've got Greg in there as well, and Matt, and then that's Keith Pelzer, James Hicks as well. So it's a great cause. Like I say, I'll put my little lower third up with my little scrolling ticker, and it'll have the link in there. But it's a great thing to support. So let's have a little look. I'll skip over the ones of Chris saying that I'm brilliant. I'll note them down though, and I'll I'll put them in my my CV later. I had no time. Right. Yeah, it is tricky to. Whoops, where's your comment gone? Let me put it in there. Yeah, it is a bit tricky to sort of schedule it, isn't it? To be honest, that's the reason why I hadn't done it for. I've been on my bike for 3 years. I'd always found other things that were seemingly getting in the way. But I've actually started doing some of my videos in the afternoon now, sort of late afternoon, sort of 5-6 o'clock, something like that, because I've been doing some of my cycling in the morning. So it gets quite hot here in the day, so it's not ideal time for. Although yesterday my ride was at 2 p.m. something like that, so or 3 p.m. So it was pretty hot here. So the best time for me to cycle is either in the evening or just first thing in the morning when there's it's just the sun's just coming up and the tarmac, the road surface hasn't become like a radiating up heat. The other thing about going in the middle of the day is there's loads of dogs here, and they're free to roam wherever they want. You know, people don't always have like sort of fences and things like that, and the dogs are in the yard or in the garden or whatever. They just go where they want, really, which is fine. And but where they like to sleep in the daytime, in the hot day sun, for some reason they like to just come out into the road and just sleep like on the edge of the road. So they become a bit of a hazard for cyclists in the daytime, and then in the evening they get quite territorial. If you're on like the back roads, then you have to watch for them, sort of darting out of the yards or the houses, because they stay in the yard in the nighttime, but then they'll come flying out if they hear a cyclist go past. So they're a hazard either way, either jumping up and barking at you as you ride past if it's in the evening or morning, but then in the daytime, just lying in the road. I don't quite understand that. So now Greg's saying refresh. Now I'm not sure what's that. Is that referring to the? Let me have a look. Is that referring to the stats, I wonder? It is. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me come back. Let me come back for a minute. Thank you, Greg. Well, that is brilliant, isn't it? Well, that is brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll have to just come into here a minute. Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Chris. That is absolutely brilliant. And thank you, Michael. You know what? That has absolutely made my day. Thank you very, very much. That really does mean a huge amount. That does. That's brilliant. So we've officially hit our team's goal. So it's now time to raise the team's goal, obviously, isn't it? Thank you very much, everybody. Much appreciated. I don't know what to say. Thank you. That has genuinely made my day. That has. Great. Starting to communicate on your Facebook. So presumably that's about the cycling challenge. That's great. Yeah. So I've posted it on mine as well. I made a video about it actually and posted it on the channel, but I didn't know how to sort of tag it or anything like that. So it hasn't had as many views as normal things because it's obviously just people seeing it in their streams. But that's actually thrown me, to be honest. I've been put off my my stride now because that has genuinely moved me. That has. Thank you very much, everyone. It's like I say, it's one of these things that, if you think about it, it's just so horrible, and anything we can do to help. I've also had an email through today talking about they've got some backers that are basically going to be matching donations as well. So that's coming at some point for anything that's been raised. They'll be matching it. So I'll be making a sort of separate post and announcement about that at the time. But I've genuinely lost my train of thought now. Well, I'll come back to cycling because there is another part of this, which is it is to also help with my fitness. So I'm not going to labour the point about my fitness, but I'm also doing Tweet 100. So we're on day 10 of that. Actually, I think I'm on day 11, but there you go. So follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/take1tech_. Can you see what happened there? I set up my website, I set up my YouTube channel, and I set up everything else, only to find that there was actually another Take One Tech. It's actually a Japanese, I think it's a company in Japan. I can't remember now. But it's like they sell a couple of different products. They're like a seller of a couple of products. So somebody had already taken Take One Tech, and I didn't realise until it shows a bit of a lack of research on my part. That does, doesn't it? But anyway, someone had already got it, so there you go. But yeah, within that 100 days, I'm also aiming to ride 1,600 miles, basically, because that's what it was, 1,000. But then Greg mentioned, I think it's 1,600. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, Greg. But you mentioned that it was 1,600. You had to go until the end of the year, I think. Can't remember now. But anyway, so that's where that 1,600 came from. That sounds a little bit arbitrary. Yeah, and I'm also looking to reduce my my weight. Basically, I need to lose 20% of my body weight, although I've only set a target of 84 kilos instead of 80. But ultimately, I want to get down to 80. But I thought, well, by the end of the year or within 100 days, if I get down to 84, I'll feel a lot better about myself. And I'll also have a lot of extra energy as well, which is what it's all about. More energy to play with the kids and run around in the garden with them, because it is a bit bad when the kids are pestering you to play with you and you're saying, like, hang on a minute, I just need a moment for a breath. Yeah, it is 1,600. Great, that is what I thought. I thought I remembered that right. And you're doing 80 miles tomorrow. That is great. I'm not sure I'll match that. My next one, I think, is going to be 60. So after the live stream last week, I just went out and got the kids up and then went straight out on the bike for 40 miles, something like that. So 40. My next one will be 60, and then after that, I'll ramp up. I definitely want to be doing 100 miles though before the end of the. Certainly before the end of the year. I'm not sure I'll do a 100 miler before the end of this month, but I'll probably do 60 this weekend. And then 80. We'll see. I'm not sure I'm ramping this up at the right pace. There's probably a much more gradual and easier way to do this. But yeah, that's typically me. That is. I did 5 miles, then 10 miles, then 20 miles, then 40. And it was actually my mum said, you're not supposed to increase it exponentially, but there you go, doubling it every time. So that is where we are with that. I also, this week, so there's one thing that I'm basically hoping that somebody might be able to answer this question for me, because I'm setting up a new YouTube channel. And this came about because of, it was actually Matt thinking about it, that mentioned that he'd got a channel that he's using just for YouTube Shorts. I obviously did the TikTok thing, and as I mentioned before, I sort of fell flat on my face with it because I didn't really have a proper plan with it and hadn't spent any time sort of figuring out a strategy to it. So I am going to get that up and running again and start producing some short form content. But I'm also figured, well, I'll set up a separate channel for my YouTube Shorts as well, so that it doesn't screw up all of my sort of stats and things like that. Not that I care about them, but I'm very interested in them. So I went through the process of setting up a new channel, and there was something that was a bit different in the way that it appeared. So let me just show you what it looks like. I forgot the right one. So this is in YouTube Studio, and this is for this channel of my current channel. And if you come down to settings down here, where is it? Click there, and then the channel settings, and then when you go to feature eligibility, this is what I see in my current channel. So I've basically got two options here, the default features and features that require phone verification. So the default features is what you just get when you sign up for your channel, but then there's features that require phone verification, which is basically to be able to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, create custom thumbnails, do live streaming, and appealing content ID claims. So there's no real hassle in doing it. You just have to verify a phone number basically. So that is what I see in my current channel, and that is what I thought it looked like all of the time for everybody. However, when I went to set it up on my other channel, let me get this one out of the way, there we go. So the one down below here, this is what I see on the new channel. So the top two, instead of saying default features, it says standard features, and by the way, these are exactly the same. And then we've got intermediate features, which is exactly the same as features that require phone verification on this one. But then there's this advanced features one, and what you have to do for that is basically upload an ID. So I did this yesterday. I haven't researched this. There may be an easy answer out there on Google, but I'm just mentioning it because I haven't had time to do that. And I thought, well, it may be that there's other people who don't know that there's some potential difference here either. So I'd be interested to hear. And this one, basically, if you look in this advanced features, it says create more live streams daily. Well, I only create one a week, so I've never run into any issues with that. So I don't know what the current limit is. So I'd be interested to learn about that. Also, upload more videos daily. Now, interestingly, the reason why I sort of cottoned onto this was because I was uploading. I had 30 shorts that I'd done for TikTok, so I basically just dragged them all into YouTube to upload them all, and figured, well, I'll just get them in there, and then I can figure out what I'm going to do with them later. And it hit an upload limit, basically saying you can't upload more than 10 videos in a day, and that's what sort of prompted me to go through this process. So then the other thing is embed live streams. So that's something I've never actually tried to do, but it would be good to just embed them on my my website. So I don't know about that. And then also eligible to apply for monetization. Well, you're eligible to apply even in this one anyway. So and yeah, Matt, so it is the exact same email. So I've just got my Google email that I use for my YouTube channel, and I've created another YouTube channel within that. So basically, if I just come to this other screen sharing for a moment, where is it? This one. So all I've done is in here where you can change channel. So I have got different user accounts as well, but this is basically this one. So this is my root email, and then I've got Take One Tech and Take One Tech Shorts. I do have other channels as well with different Google accounts, but these two channels are basically the exact same user account, and then I've got these sort of underneath that. So my Take One Tech and the Take One Tech Shorts is they may well have done, Paul. They may well have figured out my witness protection. My ID is invalid. So yeah, it was just interesting. That was. I don't know. Yeah, Matt, what does it show in your channel? Do you have the one where it shows 3 different options, or do you have the one where it shows 2 options? So if I come back into this a minute, that's what I'm interested to learn actually, is which one of these two. If I come back to this one and go to there. So what is the usual? Is it okay, so Matt's got 2 options as well. I will indeed, Michael, no problem. Yeah, so that, well, we'll have to wait and see. I will do some more research, and I will report back. You had to go through the same thing when you set up so I wonder if it is just like a sort of new feature then, but what, yeah, both are set to exactly the same everything, in fact. So I did literally everything exactly the same, almost like the description's the same. It's everything's identical, both with the same email address, both set to the same location and everything as well. So that's interesting. You have 2 options, but it's with a different address. Okie dokie. Right, well, it looks like I'll have to do a bit more digging around, and then I'll report back. So, yeah. Just coming back to Michael's question, what are YouTube Shorts? Basically, YouTube Shorts are videos that are less than a minute. They have to be less than a minute. And they're vertical as well. So rather than having, it's designed basically for people watching on the phone. And sometimes if you go into YouTube, you'll see at the I think it's at the top, they have like a little scrolling thing at the top that's got basically, you've got all your videos and thumbnails going down in a list, but at the top sometimes they've got a separate one that you can sort of scroll left to right, which is just all YouTube Shorts, and they're just supposed to be short form videos, a bit like you would get on TikTok, which is just a pure short form video platform. And the way that you create them is the video has to be less than a minute. And then all you do is you put hashtag shorts either in the description at the beginning of the description or in the title. And then YouTube just figures it out that they're shorts. They tend to get different sort of viewing sort of characteristics than standard videos, which is why I don't want to put them in with my main videos. So I'm just going to do it as a separate channel, and then basically directing people to the main channel, but they will be sort of a standalone thing on their own as well. And that's what the plan was with TikTok as well. So that one had links to my main channel. So it's kind of like another way you can get some that get a lot more views. So for example, my TikTok videos, I only did 30 of them in 5 days. But basically with those ones, they would, like the first video I did got something like 600 views or something like that. Well, I never normally do that many views on my main channel. So it's a way to sort of get potentially more views to then sort of direct people in. So that was my reason. Hey Heather, great to see you here. Loving the community, by the way. The Just Create More. Look at this. There we go. I've even got an overlay for it. And I've cunningly redirected using my my affiliate link there as well, so that you know that people have come from me. Yeah, that's what YouTube Shorts are anyway, Michael. And it's just like I say, I did start doing it in the with TikTok, and then basically just didn't have a proper strategy for it, so I sort of let that fall by the wayside for the past few weeks. But I'm going to just sort of spend a bit of time just getting everything all set up so that I can be doing them on YouTube, on TikTok, and then also on Instagram as well. So that's where I'll be posting that sort of stuff. But if anybody does fancy jumping on, then do feel free to use the usual link. I still haven't made your stinger, by the way, Greg. I almost got round to it. I got round to starting it, but I didn't finish it off. So we might have to wait for another week if you did fancy joining. Oh, there we go. It's Matt. 1 second. Let me just add Matt in. It's just loading up. There we go. Guest one. Hey, Matt, how are you doing? Oh, I haven't got your sound at the moment. I'm not sure if that's me. Guest has muted themselves. Let me have a little look. Can I? It may be muted in the actual in the browser, Matt. It says guest has muted themselves. Oh, and we've got Greg as well. Hey, Greg, how are you doing?
What's up?
Good, good, good. I should have left the my little names up from last week. I should have guessed. How's everything going for you this week, Greg?
It's been busy, you know, a lot of things going on. Fundraising is starting up for the company, so we're just kind of busy.
Cool, cool.
Hey, Heather.
It looks like
we had our stream as well. We had a last minute cancellation, so we swapped in a panel of people. It was an affair.
Right. Let me just get this up.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
How are you, Matt? How are you been?
Very good. I was not on the bike for a week.
You didn't get any riding in this week?
Yeah, in fact, I'm just waiting the weekend to accumulate all the cycling at once.
You're just going to go for one big long bike ride.
That's what I'm doing actually. I didn't ride this week either because
see the bike behind.
Oh yeah, cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, same thing. I'm doing my 80-mile ride, so I try to do about 100 a week, and so I didn't want to like exhaust myself before like a big ride. So,
by the way, that the ride you did where you had 2 punctures. What was it? 6 hours in the end.
It was 6 hours to do 60 miles. It was terrible.
I really felt for you when I read that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was horrible. I don't even know where I'm going to ride 80 miles tomorrow. I haven't figured out how to actually do an 80-mile loop.
Right.
It'll be my taper week, and then the Saturday after that is my race. I'm doing a 100-mile race. So. Right. So is that the last weekend in September then? That one. I think so. The 25th.
Right.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure.
I've never ridden 100 miles. I've also never ridden 80 miles, so we'll see how this goes.
I'm not sure that I can ride 100 miles. I mean, maybe it will take me 2 days to do it.
Uh-huh. Hey, I'll just quickly tell Heather. So we're basically doing this thing. Let me just cover myself up for a moment. It's the Great Cycle Challenge, and it's for every day in September. And we're basically raising money for kids' cancer. So it's a big organised thing. And we've got a little team going. So if Tom is a rider and fancies putting his riding miles into action in another way, then if you follow this link, takeonetech.io/ride, this will take you through to this page basically. Whoops, not this page. It'll take you through to this page, which is my page on the Great Cycle Challenge. But then just come down here, and there is my team, and then you can basically just join the team. So you can sign up to start being in the Cycle Challenge as well. But then click on View My Team, and then you can just go and join the team from there as well. And you'll see when it loads up. Look at that. That's very slow, isn't it? What's going on? Here we go. So there's, Greg, Matt, me, and then a few other people. India, who I'm sure you know, India, and James Hicks, Keith Pelzer. I know you know Keith. And Randy Wilburn. So that's our team. Yeah, it'd be great. If Tom is a regular cyclist, and you, in fact, then it'd be great to have you in the team as well. So we're aiming to raise $1,000, but we've actually just today, thanks to some very kind donations from the people on this stream, we've just pushed that over to 1,100. So we're going to have to reassess our goal, I think, aren't we? But that is why we're talking about cycling on this stream. So that's what that is, Heather.
Oh, tell Tom that. Does he track it in an app? If he joins the team, I believe he will get credit for the miles he did.
That's right. Yeah, it will. Yeah. So anything that because I'm using Strava, but if he's using anything else as well, then yeah.
You can also manually add rides if they don't import.
So it can be backdated.
Yeah. We'll easily do 1,000 miles. That's no problem.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, we're both on. Is your target 400 as well, Greg?
Mine is currently 400, but I will try. Because of the race, I've been pacing myself as opposed to trying to exert myself too much. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go back past it much, but
got you.
I'll probably try to get it to 500 at least.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm a very small contributor.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it,
Every
as well?
mile and dollar counts. So
Totally. Yeah.
That's been very, very, very difficult. I'm telling you, because as the same as Alec, I stopped for maybe 1 year or more.
Uh-huh.
And last weekend I said, okay, that's for the kids. I jumped on the bicycle and I was like, I was adding kilometers after kilometers.
Yeah, it's a good motivator, isn't it? I find it.
Yeah.
I would have turned around a lot sooner on some of the rides that I've done this month. It's but it's like I've got to keep going. Yeah.
That was amazing. I mean, honestly, it was giving me some additional. I said, okay, I will stop at 25 kilometers. Sorry, I'm talking in kilometers, not in miles.
Yeah.
And I was like continuing 25. Okay, five more.
In this conversation, kilometers wins.
So that's really motivating. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just got to quickly put Keely's comment up. let's take a screenshot of that one, guys. Hi, Keely.
Well, I don't have any red though. I feel bad. We've let Keely down.
We have somewhat, haven't we? Yeah. We'll have to adjust that for next time. Oh, hi, Rich, as well. Yeah, that is typical. Tom overachieving as always. Yeah, it's been great to get back into the cycling. Whoops, wrong comment. Whoops, I am moving.
Yeah, so I don't know about you. I have to leave at 6 a.m. to get my ride in, and it's 60 degrees out Fahrenheit.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty hot. We have a similar heat issue over here as well, but
60 is okay.
Yeah.
But by midday, let me check. I think it's going to probably take me 6 hours to do 80 miles. So by the time I come back, it's 99 right now. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit here.
Right.
In Denver. Let's see. By noon, it'll be 91. Woo. It's a 30 degree gain.
Yeah. You better bring a lot of water.
I've got 2 water bottles. I don't know. There's here, you don't have to ride on the roads. Actually, it's great in Colorado. We have trails everywhere.
Oh, cool.
So even when I did my 60 mile, my 70 mile, 5 mile ride, I didn't go on the roads at all. I was on trails the whole time. So that helps make it a little safer. in terms of just, not getting, on the roads, but also it usually means you can pull off and find some water, or stop. And I don't drink a lot though. I don't know. I never even finished my 2 bottles on in a 5-6 hour ride.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, I'm always drinking, right?
See, my problem is I don't want to have to pee. So
yeah. Don't have.
And after that,
stop.
you don't have any issue like cramps or like recovering, because dehydration is kind of like the enemy of the cyclist,
Yeah, I haven't, knock on wood, haven't experienced that too much. So last time I had 2 bottles of water and I stopped and I had a coffee actually. So, and I had about 1,000 calories because I'm still cutting down for a show as well. So
right.
I'm in a
Got to balance the two things there.
In a very odd spot where I don't want to eat too much because I'm managing my calories. But I had about 1,000 calories on that ride, but Strava said I only burned like 1,700. So I don't know.
I don't know if Strava is really accurate in calculating the calories. It depends on people's, bodies and type of effort. I mean, like they are doing this calculation, but I don't think it's really accurate.
You do your best, right? I mean, if you're tracking what you're eating, then you at least relatively know, right? So, everything with people, everything is just directional, right? Like, am I going in the right direction?
Exactly.
I've got breaking news. We've now got Tom on the team.
Oh, nice!
It's very fast.
We're in business. That's great. Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, Keely, I know dehydration way better than Paul may understand. That's awesome. I'm really psyched that Tom's on the team now too.
Yeah.
Let's get some miles in now, and then some dollars.
Yep.
That's good. And maybe Alec, you can share the video that you have. Like put in the chat or somewhere the video you have done. That would be good for those who are watching the replay. If there is any is watching the replay, so at least they have the link there.
Yeah. I will do. I'll drop that in.
So like it's good, that will support the cause. And in fact, it's my wife also was kicking my ass. Sorry for that, but she was like pushing me, like said, "You have to do it. You have to." And it's true. This week was crazy for me. I mean, on my 9 to 5 job, and that was a crazy week. And she was like, "You have to do it. You have to get back on the bicycle. You have to do it for the kids and so on." And it's true that it's giving me like this extra. That's why I was showing you this. This bike is just waiting for me, and it's ready for my 7 a.m. ride in 2 hours.
Cool stuff. So. Is that after the thing on the Just Create More community as well? Are you going to the camera thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to head over there as well.
What's the camera thing?
There's every 2 weeks now, I think it is. They're doing the thing for basically like camera tips and things like that for people who are setting up. This is in the there we go, in the Just Create More community.
Camera junkie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to join this.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great, and it's like rather than being just
I'm using Heather's referral code. No, just kidding.
How dare you get off my stream? Shoot. It's really great. It's it's the first time I've used this sort of thing that's kind of like a I forget what it's called now, Mighty Networks. So it's like a self-contained community. That doesn't necessarily.
What was the code again? Just Create.
So that's the link. It's justcreate.com. But takeonetech.io/create is the referral link. So that they know.
I think the boss is going to know who referred you because
I think so. Yeah.
They're here.
I think I've used the Alec referral link. So
Chris is over there as well. I'm telling lots of people about it. Yeah, it's
No,
just
definitely is.
I don't know if I could abide by these community guidelines. No profanity.
Oh no, I'm out. I'm out.
Like right before I go off this stream, I'm just gonna blurt out a bunch of curses to get ready.
No, that's a great platform, by the way, and they have a mobile app as well.
Yeah, that's where I use it as well. So it's quite it's good just the way it's all structured and different. It's just really really well thought out. I've just realised I'm not just saying that because you're here, Heather. That's what I say to everyone.
Yes. No, it's a great one, and there is great people as well, and sharing like very good tips, and that's a and also it's a way for creators who are alone. They don't feel alone anymore. They join. On the same boat and sharing informations and feedbacks and honest feedback, and very good criticize, which is great.
Which link is that, Keely? Please post that link. Which one is that? Is that the just create more link? Is it, or
I guess it's just create more, right?
I just realised with Ecamm Live, when you're going through Restream, then the little thing to post in the chat window is only there if you're going directly to just YouTube. Whereas if you are in the if you're doing through Restream, then you can't comment. So I'll have to just post it somewhere else. Do you see what I mean?
Oh,
right. I can post it on the chat if you want.
Cool. I just signed up. What do I do? Where should I go? I need to mess something up now.
Well, if you've just joined up, then if you go to the events, then there is one there starting in 14 minutes. So that's my countdown started. Which is for I forget what they call it now.
How to use your camera? I don't know how to do it either. That's a good idea.
That's the one. Yeah, but it's good because it's just sort of general questions and stuff like that. So
I occasionally turn a knob and I'm like, crap, how do I get out of this mode?
Yeah. Well, now's the chance to get those questions answered.
Somebody hear that?
Yeah, but there's lots of other events in there as well. So
he's looking. It's takeonetech.com/live.
Here you go. There you go. takeonetech.io/create.
Sorry. takeonetech.io.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good. We were talking about other sort of like Zoom calls and things like that we can do, other events that we can do within the community. So there's been a few good ideas about that. I'm going to do one at some point. I've got to just actually get around to scheduling it. I did ask if anybody wanted me to do one about just in Ecamm in general or something like that, so I could do that. And somebody mentioned one about Stream Deck as well. So yeah, it's just all the community coming together and creating like events for each other as well. So it's great. We've got things like obviously the Ecamm community and stuff like that, but that's quite large, isn't it? Where there's something about having a nice little smaller community. I'm sure it won't be small for long. There's new people signing up every day, obviously, but it's really really great. I'll happy to do that as a maybe like even like a recurring thing. Get your questions answered, that sort of thing, every couple of weeks or maybe. I'll get my ass into gear and set that up. And speaking of which, we've got 12 minutes to go until that thing is starting. So you were well, to be honest, one of the things that I was going to do after my 100 days on YouTube thing was actually spend some time and update all of my overlays and stuff like that as well. But I still haven't quite got around to it either.
I have a question for you, Al.
Yeah, cool.
Why do the comment bubbles seem to need to be adjusted constantly?
Well, technically, if they all come in at the same place, but what it doesn't do, if you're on the beta, then if you've got different profiles, then it'll remember where they are. But I don't normally have this little ticker running, so I had got it set so that basically these were Now I'm moving the wrong thing.
But is the coordinate system from the top left? Like, is that 0, 0?
I don't know technically how they do it, but it should come in at the same place every time. The other thing is that's a bit strange is, well, it's not strange, but if you have got your scene locked, then the same when you add in any overlay, it will appear in the show in all windows. So if I lock this scene a minute, if I lock this scene and I add a comment in like that, and then I change to a different view, so say this one, for example, you see the comment still stays there. Right. Whereas if I unlock the scene, and then I add a comment in. So, welcome, James. Good to see you. So now if I go over, so this scene's unlocked. It's added this overlay into the actual scene itself. So when I change scene, it disappears. So it should actually remember the location of them. But it's just if I've played around with stuff, like there was a Keeley's one, for example. There was a big long one from Keeley. Where was that? And when that came up, because it was just a much bigger thing, when I put it up, I realized like this, it was a bit too big, so that needed sort of resizing.
So people are adjusting it. Okay, because I know like I've seen many people like adjusting that thing, and I'm like, why is it not stay where you want it?
If people could just keep their comments to one line or less, it would be perfect.
Okay, actually, I have another question, and I threatened that I was going to get Doc to answer it, but now I'm going to make you answer it.
Yeah, go on.
So today I have a scene.
Yeah.
And I'm using this thing that Tom did, or that Tom mentioned, with the invisible timer, and it says go to the next scene. But right after the next scene, I have a folder with 2 camera views in them, or 2 scenes in them, but it always skips over that folder and goes to the one after it. Now.
Yeah, so it will just go to the next scene. What you'd need to do is you'd need to have that scene within the folder, because then you could have it just. So if you've got a folder with multiple scenes and you say go to next scene, it'll cycle through them, and then when it gets to the last one, it'll actually return back to the first scene in that folder. That stinks
because that's my intro. So
I got you.
So I use it as my intro, and then I have this camera group where I'm like, okay, just rotate these 2 cameras, you know.
Yeah.
But it skips that all the time, and so. Can I tell it to go to a name scene, or do I have to only go to the next scene?
I put that in as a feature request already, actually. So I definitely go into it and add it again as a request, because that would be ideal. I do that with my I do the same thing. So with my titles on my normal videos, it goes through from my titles, then it goes to a one that has just got my lower third separately, and then from that, once that little video is played, it goes through to my main scene. So then when I'm doing my live stream, I still use the same title. So I just basically move my my sort of titles just above below my countdown timer. So I just have to move those around to do it. But yeah, that is a bit tricky.
Rich is cursing at you in Latin, so don't put his comment on. And it's also more than one line.
Thanks for that, Rich. I'm sorry, Keeley. I didn't mean it. You know I didn't mean it. Don't be upset as well. Yeah, it should, Heather. Comment for formatting should switch between each scene. With each scene, it should definitely. It does do it, like I say, with the profiles in the beta version. But yeah, it doesn't with each scene. It's one of these things, though. If we all just go in and put it in in fact, I'll add that on into the beta group today about the commenting, because it would be good if it just remembers the formatting. The other thing is, if you've got something where you haven't actually done any formatting before, like you've created a new profile or something like that, but then you've gone in and created an invisible timer, for example, with some transparent text in it, then if you go and then add in a comment, it remembers the last formatting of the text. So I've had it before where I've set up something new and then gone in and I thought, why can't I see the comment? But it was just because I'd still got invisible text. So
Paul had a question, though. He's like, why is there a reason I couldn't put the intro in the folder? The reason is that the last scene in the folder, when it repeats, goes back to the beginning. And so then it would technically play the intro again.
What you could do is you could have.
What if I put a folder in a folder? Can I do that?
You'd still have the same issue with then, where you're basically just moving everything down a folder level, because it wouldn't cycle back to it. The only way to do that would be to just have the intro and then your initial camera view, and then just actually. I'd say, you could do it with Stream Deck actually.
Have
you could,
that camera. I have a Stream Deck to do
multi-action,
that.
no?
Right.
Multi-action, right?
So yeah, so the way to do it is you have you start in intro. You know how long that's going to be. Have that go to. It might be safer to just have it go to a duplicate of your first camera angle, and then like leave a delay that's like longer than you know you're going to need for your intro and stuff like that, and then. After that, the delay would take it to the first one in the folder, and then it would just start cycling through the folder. That would be the way to do it, I think.
Right. All right. I'll test that because I noticed it like 3 times. I'm like, what the heck? Why is it on the end screen now? And I'm like, oh, it's skipping this thing.
Yeah.
Well, also because on my streams, most of the time I get impatient waiting for the countdown timer, so I stop it. I stopped it earlier anyway, so I never noticed that it wasn't doing it.
Yeah, to be honest, I hate countdown timers. I mean, I'm always feeling like that on this one. It's only like 3 minutes or something, but I'm thinking like, right, what do I do? I'm not going to dance. I'm not a big dancer.
Did you see the video, the Gloria dancing video?
Which one's that?
She has today, I guess maybe she's on vacation, but
right.
She had a looping video of her dancing to the song. So I didn't realize it at first. I thought it was just her.
Right.
And everyone was laughing because she's doing all these weird scenes and acting out.
Got you, right.
It's a loop, so it definitely repeats.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a body double and just record one dancing there for 3 minutes and then...
We will definitely ask you to dance in 100 days. I mean, less than right? 90 days. We will have the before and after dance, right?
I'm shutting down the YouTube channel. It's over.
Day 99.
Or you choose like you choose like a very specific time frame where you know there is less audience.
Yeah.
So maybe you will have 1 or 2 viewers.
Just do it in normal time for you.
Yeah.
No one will notice.
Midday Thai time. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, Matt will be there.
Definitely.
You're doing it as well, man. You suggested it.
Interview mode. The interview mode has a purpose.
But I think Ika will shut down the. I don't know if they have this kind of filtering, you know. They say or yes. Okay, guys.
Cool.
Thank you very much. I will have to jump out.
Time to
We have
wrap
to
up.
jump to the other. Everyone go to Just Create More. Now.
Yeah, definitely.
I just got to say, I appreciate that, Michael. The rest of this comment was sent telepathically to ensure this was short. If everyone could just do that in future, that would be great.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone.
Stuff. I'll see you in Just Create.
Right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Well, thank you everybody for coming along. Oh, good stuff, Keely. You'll love it in there. It's brilliant. More great people like us. And thanks to everybody, by the way, for the donations today for the cycling challenge. It really has made my day. That has. So thanks. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'll still keep going on about it for the rest of September, though. Okie dokie. That is all for me today. I've lost my train of thought now as well again. So I'm going to sign out now and head over to Just Create More to go and join the Zoom call, which is starting in about 3 minutes. So thank you all for coming. I look forward to catching up with you all on the other side. And if not, then somewhere here in the next week or so. All right, I'll catch you all later. And for those watching on the replay, there'll be some more videos coming up next. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.